back to the channel, everyone, and thank you for making it Maths4U. So our topic for today is matrices. Before we go any further, it's important for us to find out what exactly are matrices. So matrices, or a matrix rather, singular, is just an arrangement of numbers in both rows and columns. Yes, you're seeing these terms, but what do they mean? So our rows run from left to right and our columns run from top to bottom. So usually we have our matrices being represented using some large brackets. It depends on how many elements are within the matrix. So this is the regular representation. And these little elements, they're just variables used to represent any number at all. So variables, you can always assign a value to it. So this is just an example. So this is our matrix and it contains both rows and columns. So based on the definitions here, how many rows and how many columns do you think are present? Please feel free to pause the video and think about it and let me know what you think. All right, so it's rows left to right. We have one row, two rows. So left to right, one, left to right, two. So we've accounted for all the elements in the cell or in the matrix. So therefore, it's conclusive for us to say that two rows are present. So we've identified the rows, and with matrix, as I said, you have to account for the columns also. So columns run from top to bottom. So we have one column, two column, and we've accounted for all the elements present. So we can always note that there are two columns present. Please bear in mind that the matrix or the matrices that you will encounter, don't think they are restricted to just two rows and two columns. They can expand 3 rows by 3 columns or 4 rows by 4 columns. It depends on the situation. But for your syllabus, it won't exceed a 3 by 3 matrix. All right, so I know you're hearing me saying something by something, so we're getting to that part. So there's something called the order of a matrix, and this determines, or it provides a statement as to how many rows and columns are present in your matrix. All right, so it's a simple representation and it just tells you what is present in this matrix, and that's all. So the order of a matrix is simply a representation of the number of rows and columns present. So just like our example before, we found out that there are 2 rows and 2 columns. So we represent the order by writing 2, representing our rows. We always put the multiplication sign there. And then we also have to represent our columns. Hence 2 by 2. So this just tells us that in all there are 2 rows and 2 columns, which account for 4 elements in total. So if you want to look at it as per se we're just writing something to indicate the product of elements in the cell, you can look at it like that. So this is the order, and this was our original matrix. So these are just 2 key terms that really introduce the topic of matrices.